Oh, it's burning. Alright, we can start this video. Alright, you masters, this is Some-Belgian-prepper. And today we're going to look at a pumice stone. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's already out, so yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Alright, there's already one thing debunked. So, today I want to talk about the pumice stone. You know, those things that you can find to rub some one of those hardened skin, how do you call it? The things that get very hard on your skin after you do a lot of work, like on the back of your feet. Doesn't matter. We're going to talk about this, and yeah, I tested out a few things, and I'm going to tell you, do not use this in your survival pack or your bug out pack, because it's dog shit. And I will tell you all about it, because there are a lot of survival myths about a pumice stone, and I'm going to tell you it's not worth it to put in your bug out bag. So first of all, don't do it, but listen to the reasons why. But before we're going to talk about why this should replace all of this, why it's dog shit. So before we start, if you're interested in detective stories, there will be a link to my book called Bloody Crosses and to the sequel, The Jason Murders. So if you're interested, take a look in the description, I would say. No, that's out of the way. So I've been looking up about pumice stones and what the survival uses are, and it's supposed to be replacing all of these and a few more things, but to be honest, I'm not impressed. In fact, I'm actually pissed off because I bought these for testing them out. So luckily they are not that, how do you say this? They are not that expensive, but nonetheless, it's a waste of money. So I'm here to tell you, don't do it to save yourself some money. So the reason why I thought about this was I looked up about Roman soldiers and how they were shaving. Apparently, they used not only a razor, but also they used a pumice stone to remove the finer hairs, because the small, I don't know if you can see it, the smaller holes inside of, yeah, this one is still in plastic, by the way. They used the smaller holes would pull out the hairs, the finer hairs, and that would make it more handy. So I tested it out. First problem is you have to soak, let the skin soak for 10 minutes in hot water. Survival scenario, not that handy. If you're in a Roman camp and you got for so many hours nothing much to do, perhaps you can soak it in warm water. I tested it out on my first, as stupid as I was, first on my face. I don't know if you can see it, but there's still a small scar tissue because I thought I did it wrong, but apparently it works only for larger hairs. I don't know if I did something wrong, but if you can see, I used it on this patch and it took away the longer hairs. The smaller hairs are still visible, but this is a big difference, but only with big hairs. So for, how do you say this? For smaller hairs, it's not that handy. So that's, first of all, not survival use for that. So we're going to put the knife away. Let's see what else they claim it could be different. Another, excuse me, survival use for it apparently was to sharpen your knife. Well, I tried it out with not with my good knife, because I'm not an idiot, but I used just my regular kitchen knife. As you can see, it's full of pumice material, and that is one of the things that by the way, I used the stone that was soaked in alcohol for it. I will talk about that in a minute, but it's not sharp. It was not a sharp knife, but now it's just, I can just still feel it that it's not sharp. So using it as a sharpener, I would say no, because the moment you do that, you sharpen it on something really sharp, you have to find either a very good method for it and do it for a long time, because this will melt away, not melting away, but yeah, it will get very small very fast because it's very brittle. So don't do it that way either. So sharpening, we can throw that away. We're going to use the sharpener that has been successful for all of the time. So the thing you saw me doing earlier in the video was trying to use it as a sort of improvised stove. What I saw in the video, I don't know if it's depending on the type of pumice stone that you have, but what I tried is I soaked this pumice stone into this little bath of spirituous alcohol. So that's the type that you use in small camping cookers, and I soaked it for a few minutes inside of it, and then as you saw, I tried to light it on fire. It was a small flame, but to be honest, it it did not even last for 1 whole minute. So 1 whole minute. So a camping cooker, we can better use one of these instead of the pumice stone. So that's something that I don't liked about it. It does not work. To be honest, in the video they use some one of those aluminum foil around it to keep in the spirituous alcohol, but to be honest, if you're going to do that, you can better put the spirituous alcohol inside of a container instead of using the pumice stone, or depending on another type of pumice stone. But we're using what we have here. All right. So another thing that you can use for it is using it as a way to clean your pots. To be honest, this was the only good use that I would have. I don't know if you can see it on the side. There you can still see some aberrations, but to be honest, even if I was using, perhaps I can show you with the one I used. I don't know if you see it, but you can see there's already a big chunk of it right here by just using it a few times on this pan. And yeah, it works, I grant you that, and it also works for toilet bowls, to be honest. But is it worth it? Is it lighter than just having some steel wool or some scrubber? To be honest, I would prefer this made out of copper with some copper material, so it's also less likely to grow some bacteria inside it if you put it back into your bug-out bag. But this is lightweight, but it's also very brittle. I don't know if I can crack it open with one hand, but yeah, I would say there are better ways to clean your pots, or you can use some sand or some stones that you find on your way. But for some iron cast pan cleaning, that's the only thing that worked in my opinion, but there are better uses for it. So let's stick to the scrubber. All right, the one thing that I was really skeptical about from the beginning, from the get-go right away, was use it as a water filter. So what the survival mate said was you can put it in a container or somewhere where the water can gather in around, and the water gets through all the cracks and runs through it. There's a big problem with it, because if you're going to use it for other survival uses like the ones that I told you, this thing will get small very fast. And even if it's in pristine condition, I run through some water through it with my water bottles by putting it on top of it and see how long it will take till water get through it. It would take much too long, and even if water get through it, it will only filter out bigger particles, so it will not filter out bacteria, viruses, parasites, this kind of stuff. So no, I would say it will not be able to use as a filter. I heard some other people say you have to break it up and you can use it as a layer in an improvised filter, you know, the one with grass, sand, charcoal, sand, charcoal, that kind of stuff. But if you're going to use this, there are so many better and other things that you can have if you have this in your bug-out bag. So no, we're going to keep with a commercial water filter or some other types to filter your water inside of it. So yeah, the pumice stone is dog shit. So I will not be using it for that way, and it will only be used for cleaning my toilet bowl and also perhaps some pan cleaning. But for your bug out bag, I would say, nah, it's dog shit. So don't use it. And that is actually another lesson I would say. If you're going to listen to survival tips from other persons, even if it's from me, test it out first. Don't listen. Even experts can be wrong. Even people can be wrong because perhaps they have done it in another way with other materials. But for the love of God, please test out everything in your bug out bag before you're going to use it in a place where you cannot afford to do mistakes that can be fatal or debilitating, so to say. So that's the reason why I do these videos, to test out things and say if they work or if they don't work. Even like I said, don't even listen to me. Test it out for yourself if you can. But that's the reason why I make this video. So yeah, it's kind of ironic and perhaps hypocritical, but nonetheless, don't use pumice stones in your survival packs or your bug out pack. All right. So if you know perhaps another survival use or use for a pumice stone, please let me know in the comments. Perhaps there is something better for it. That I did not bought these things for not for nothing. So please let me know in the comments so I can save some 50 cents on this purchase. And like, subscribe, all good stuff, and look in the description for my books if you're interested. They're in Dutch, by the way. And see you next time. Cheers.